Greetings, Earth Angelics of the Galactic Activations, rising up to the occasion of manifesting 5D New Earth. I start this transmission today at 12:12 a.m. Better late than never, the 1212 portal to the great goddess, the queen. So it just turned into the 6th, and this reading is for the 5th. So with these timeline jumps and these accelerations of times and time anomalies, I'm always running late for a very important date, but can never remember what it is, because it is not a memory. It is a presence. It is an essence. And we are in Wonderland, beloved beings of light, the great unknown. Some may call it the Twilight Zone. In between worlds, in between dimensions. That is why you may feel like a stranger in a strange land, but most of us felt that way our whole lives, because we always knew we were never from this realm. But we're survivors, beloved beings of light, and we are strong and courageous to come here at this most challenging of times. And today, again, many waves of intense energies coming in through the night. Last night, many activations with the white gold eagle, emanations, and intense downloads coming in, which I'll save those stories for the end of today's transmissions, and many other synchronicities with Gaia and our rainbow tribes. We had many frequencies coming in through the Schumann resonance charts. One of our divine sisters put it quite brilliantly that the Schumann resonance was dancing today, dancing with the stars in the heaven above. The highest amplitude today was measured at 43 hertz, but we know in Gaia time it was 343, a whole. We also had many powerful activations through these earthquakes today, 105. M1.5 or greater. So we have the 66 code, 1515. The most powerful today was in the sacred portal again in South America, in the foothills of the Andes. I say the foothills, it might have been the highest peak. I'm making a slight assumption here. It was a 6.3 with the 9 code of completion. Then again, in the crown, many activations in the crown today, just south of Alaska. The crown of Lemuria, divine feminine with a 3.8. Then we had a 3.0 and a 3.6. More than 9 codes coming in. And then right in the heart of Lemuria, a 3.7 at 7:43 UTC. 37 into the 73 heaven on earth codes. And that was at Makawao, Hawaii. Not sure exactly how to pronounce that one. Then we had a 3.7 also with the Atlantean energies in the British Virgin Islands, in those beautiful turquoise oceans. And then with our brothers and sisters in Shikotan, Russia, with a 4.5. And then in Panama, Central America, 4.5. We had a powerful 4.2, the Divine Feminine, in Greece several hours ago. And the 6.3 in Chile was at 1:16 UTC at 30.336 latitude, 71.564 longitude, 1771 coming in all day today too. With that 8-8, also 8-8 of the Lion's Gate, still pumping in that energy of the courage of the lion, the courage for us to rise up in our missions and our sacred journeys. And then to our bro stars and sis stars on the plateau of Tibet, which is currently China, but we know is still Tibet, to our brothers and sisters over there. And with the 4-4 codes coming in, divine 44, rising up, bringing in and down and within the 5D energies, the 5D codes. The second most powerful earthquake today is 6.2, which just came in about an hour ago in Vanuatu. And Vanuatu is connected to the lower Dantian of the sacred divine feminine in Lemuria, and between Fiji and the Solomon Islands, the soul of the moon, the sun and the moon, Shakti and Shiva, the eagle and the condor, come together, and there's the 6.2 with the 8 at 17.15, latitude 167.579, longitude 8 kilometers depth. So we have the 8-8 encoded within there. The 8-8 also symbolizes freedom from the prison or the trap of all time loops. We're resolving that here through these final activations and final missions as we anchor in fully the 5D energies. The whole ring of fire is lit up, and we are lit up. Gaia is lit up. Lighting up the grid is part of the ascension. It's that rising, it's the levity, the electricity, the frequency, and the magnetism. The divine feminine is the gravity. Throat chakra openings again here. So the magnetism and the gravity unite with the electricity and the levity, the rising up, the ascension. It is the Kundalini connected to and anchored into the crystalline core of Pachamama as we bring in these crystalline codes of the Christos, the crystals, consciousness from the higher dimensions and directly from infinitely expanding creator source, which we'll get into more later and in our transmissions. The first transmission today from Divine Bro Star of the Light, Pars Kute. We are more deeply to integrate the light and consciousness of our soul star. This light and consciousness is an overlighting aspect of our human incarnation, but it is time to integrate this light more deeply into our mind field as a source of presence from which we live, move, and have our being. It is time to manifest the light and energy of the soul in a more conscious and direct way. As the energy of our soul star is adjusted and enhanced, it creates a portal through which we have a greater connection and communion with elements of our own soul's experiences. But it does not stop there. We also hold a greater connection and communion to our divine origins. Our soul is an overlighting influence who has incarnated on the planet through a multiplicity of experiences, which exist in time and no time. In this moment of time, we have access to all the other points in time in which we incarnate in human form. We are beginning to rekindle the communication that exists between our soul and our body, and we are allowing ourselves to receive energy and information that is part of our natural structure, but which has been veiled from us in the form of alternate experience. We are each beginning to receive new impulses. This may take the form of memories, dreams, intuitions, and revelations. As we make access to this realm of consciousness, we are accessing a much greater awareness of the totality of our soul's experience and design. Yet behind our soul and our soul's DNA, there are other levels or layers of our being. The higher self-consciousness, which overlights even the soul's manifestation, and the reset point it contains to facilitate the journey home. It is our higher selves that has spoken. It is this connection with the higher level of our being and the source light that has drawn us to this point in our experience and the rekindling of connection between us and our spiritual nature. We have never lost this communion, but we have lived veiled, deeply unaware of its power, its presence, and its potential. But dear ones, this is all changing as we speak. We are beginning to feel new vibrations. We may smell the essence of the rose that is descending upon our bodies as we speak. These experiences are quantum in nature, and they are designed to help us lift in vibration so we can remember the truer essence of our being. We are in form, but we are not limited by form. And the time is at hand to bring more energy and more information through form into our world. You see, we are well positioned and well rooted to be able to do so. And we have been reminded of the crystalline connection and the deep support and nurturance that we each receive through the crystalline grid of memory on the planet and the impulses from the stars. We are supported beyond measure. We are loved beyond measure. The solution is to go inside, to feel more and more deeply, more and more powerfully, the essence of light that exists within our structure and the bridge that exists between our physical form, the love beneath our feet, and the love from the stars. What we are living is as natural as the unfolding of a seed into a tree. It is a process of life and ascension. It is not something we are doing. It is a very natural process that is ours to inherit and our potential to become. Let us not worry about the form that this inspiration will take. As we integrate the light and the information, it is information, and it contains within it a sense of guidance that we receive through our intuition, our inspiration, and our greatest dreams. Let it guide you, let it teach you, let it show you. Mostly, let it remind you. For the greatest lessons that we will learn are things which fundamentally, in our hearts, we know are true. We are a being of divine origin. We are an expression of the creative source's power, love, and grace. Do not be confused by anything that disorients you from the truth of this understanding within you or around you, standing in the power of this light, and let it shine. With sacred love of one, Pars Kute, and from divine Sister of the Light, Judith Councill, the highest path is that of unconditional love, which ever sees only the perfection of love. For love always finds wholeness, unity. More than this, the power of love breaks through where none other can. For in truth, we all wish to be loved for who and what we are, just the way we are. No matter what you or I have done or not done, you are, and I am, worthy of love. From judithcouncill.com. And here are several quick transmissions, updates that are synchronizing with these powerful events coming in today and every day. Every day is a day of prophecy. Every day is a day of art and miracles and beauty. And a quick side note, the last transmission brought up in my awareness. When I speak of the 12D Venusian energies coming in, some people might think that's fantasy or made up in my head. But to me, that is my highest soul star self emanation from source energy that is closest to source. And it is a memory, it is an activation, and it is a connection that I have that I still resonate. And obviously, being infinite multidimensional beings of light, we all exist in every timeline, every dimension, every reality. So we limit ourselves by thinking we're one consciousness or one human or one this, one that. We are one, all one with source, but we are also infinite in nature, in the Tao, in our true essence. So when I speak of 12D Venusian, that is my highest love and my highest connection, closest to source. And it's the part of myself that still remains in this higher dimension and what I have the deepest connection with right now through the Condor and through my soul star family that we have always, since the beginning of time, made residence and reside on 12D Venus in our crystalline palace. So from Divine Sister of the Light, Rashmi Kilnani, surround humanity and planet Earth in the violet flame, the seventh ray, 777, spiritual freedom. And from Divine Bro Star of the Light, Marco Loper, the seals are opening. The 144,000 nadis are well activated in each one of you, spreading the rainbow codes at every latitude. Rise, star seeds, the time is now. From Divine Sister of the Light, Amanda Lawrence, incredibly strong incoming energies for the last few hours. Accelerations within amp up, expand, integrate, increase as we become more and more the human. And from Divine Sister of the Light, Veronica Rousseau, Christ Consciousness Vortex, Higher Heart Chakra, Third Eye Chakra, Mother Vein Gisa, New Lemuria, Template, Heaven on Earth, Here and Now, Northern Thailand, Divine Nest of I Am, Tara Gaia, 5D, 369, and So It Is, 22. And encoded within each one of those messages and transmissions was codes for each one of you. We just feel into these energies. Whenever we receive an activation or a download, you can pause this transmission and just sit with that energy and let it flow through you and deep into the heart of Gaia, the crystalline core, which is connected to the crystal palace at the center of your brain, which I'll try to remember to talk about at the end of. But Goddess willing, I'll be able to be coherent by the end of this. So from Divine Sister of the Light, Anna Plavan, a message for those who are ready to step into oneness, that we all are. When the world is divided in two, we don't take any sides. We don't engage on any other energies but our own. We hold our center and our balance. We step back into our own energy field. We align within our own divine presence and we observe. When we heal the divine masculine and the divine feminine within, the world will be one. There won't be any divisions anymore. It is a process, and the world is in that process. We are all in that process. You are a powerful being, and what harms you is your own false identity or ego that is trying to keep you in separation. Turn yourself to your own light and your beautiful heart, and know that nothing can touch you nor harm you there. The light of God is the most powerful light, and you have it in your essence. Find that essence and release anything that is keeping you in separation from your essence, the divine presence within you. You walk in the darkness, but you are the light. It takes darkness for you to find out who you truly are. Do not fear the darkness. It is leading you home. Know that you are me and I am you. Your tears are melting your heart, and your heart is a precious jewel. The world needs your heart. When we fear darkness, we are in separation. Detach, align, observe. You are the unique presence on earth, and the world needs your uniqueness. We are walking home, to unity, to oneness, where darkness and light are one. Embrace differences, embrace the darkness, and all it is teaching you. Embrace your own shadows. Love all of them. It is only love that can dissolve all the divisions, the separation, the suffering. Forgive yourself and forgive others. It is through forgiveness and complete acceptance and love that will lead us home, home to ourselves. Fear nothing, embrace everything. Trust the process and know that all is always perfect and exactly as it's supposed to be. You're always held and loved, with love and blessings. Namaste, Anna Plavan. And today from Here in the Moon Astrology, Saturday, September 5th, 2020, a heads up. This is the reset that you've craved but delayed. This is the shedding you've feared but desired. This is what you knew was coming but could not have known about. For years and years, as wayfinders and change agents, we've longed for, yearned for, and demanded change, and now here it is in spades. Yet there are still many turning away from the reality of now, where change happens, and looking ahead to when everything will suddenly, wonderfully get indescribably better, and a brave new earth will dawn of its own accord. That's just magic thinking. Yes, you can see the astrology unfolding years in advance, but the map is not the territory. And unless you're thinking differently, working differently, living differently right now, you'll reach 2021, 2022, 2023, with Saturn and Pluto in the age of Aquarius and still be playing an impossible game of chase your tail with whatever that elusive, better, or happiness means to you. Remember, everything and everyone is headed for the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction on December 21st in the first degree of Aquarius. We are experiencing once-in-a-lifetime events. The pattern we are all in will never repeat itself on any time scale relevant to contemporary history. The choice, as always, is to wake up or go to sleep, though it's never been so crucial as it is today. You are not failing, you are not dying, you are reorienting. This is about co-creating new realities to be available to the collective. From Here in the Moon Astrology.co.uk, and today from Divine Bro Star of the Light, David Alexander Lightfoot, Energy Update Between Worlds. For most of us who recently have been through major shifts moving forward in evolution, All who took a leap of faith from the third-dimensional world into the new 5D world, we now feel like we are in a space where we are kind of floating and review our past timeline and try to understand our present and future timelines. What we are doing is new to us. We are evolving, moving to another realm, and need time to adjust mentally, physically, energetically, and emotionally. We are still releasing more shadow energies of old hurt and emotions about people and situations we've been through in the past. We are letting go of duality as we move away from 3D more. Most of us lightworkers have been fighting many battles and have been amazing warriors for love and light in this and past lives. This programming is not easy to let go, especially for empaths as we care so much. 5D, however, is all about unity, a more balanced life living from the heart. We do not have to fight any more battles. Our new life with higher frequency and vibration will cause a ripple effect touching all those left behind, causing a bigger awakening. We have to be careful not to go back to old situations and people we have worked so hard to break free from. All that was of lower vibration, like attachments and cords to karma and drama. Our dream time is important. Sleep is important. It helps us shift faster. Our subconscious mind is still deprogramming old programs and hurtful past events that do not serve us anymore. We cannot move forward until we have resolved and transmuted these energies. We need to embrace our shadow side as it is part of us. This takes time to heal and transform. Take time to meditate and go within. We need to forgive others and ourselves so we can transmute and get ready for the next step. Have patience when your next step is not clear. Release the need to be busy all the time, and do not force things to happen. Have faith and surrender. Divine insight will always show up when you are ready to receive. We are doing this together. Heart blessings, David Alexander Lightfoot. And today from the Archangelic Calendar, the calendar and quantumly entangled news. Gaia is in the Earth spirit setting. This is because she brings physicality to the metaphysical changes taking place. The amount of effort this planet puts forth regarding transitioning to higher timelines cannot be understated. Organized darkness has completely lost control, and it is evident. Most people attribute this to the fact that they continuously break their own rules. Regardless of the reason, its defeat is transparent, and it's just a matter of observing the outcome. Everything is going well, but there is sure going to be a lot of movement. These actions are what humanity has prayed for, and to be afraid of divinity's answer seems a touch silly. It comes down to faith, and I genuinely believe that you can aid your trust by working with infinitely expanding Creator Source in good times and in bad times. We only seem to shout out to the heavens in times of need, and thus it's the most effective route divinity has for returning us home. Engineering, the lightworkers will be meeting face-to-face very soon, as improbable as it seems. This meeting, run by the highest, most profound existence levels, will change the Earth's dynamics as we know it. There is no stopping divine will, and trying to stop it destroys one's existence. Energies from the very distant past are catching up to this now. Ancient thoughts, efforts, and ceremonies are living through you in this now. The Schumann indicates engineering perfection, and after what feels like eons worth of renovations, we are ready to let this timeline run. It may feel like a movie returning from commercials saying, and now we return to the conclusion of our film, so hang tight and enjoy the finale of our show. A giant black hole has opened up, and this entity has a message from a parallel universe. The news is, return the unwanted energy here. We know what to do with it. This black hole is the largest exit portal of all time, and it has opened eager to work. This funnel is not a coincidence to our efforts, and you can bet that it is directly related to codes we received from the Syrians yesterday. Philosophical nourishment. It is a friendly reminder that everyone has their battles, tough and good days. There will never be exceptions to this. The nature of being is in a perfect balance of eclectic variety and most certainly not uniformity. At a certain level of consciousness, you intertwine with infinitely expanding Creator Source. Unless you are one, as a consequence, it takes away that personal parent and child relationship, It is truly a sacred event to be able to personalize infinitely expanding Creator Source in such a way where you have a two-party conversation. In retrospect, these conversations are the purest offerings that we can offer our higher selves. All steps on this pathway are sacred. Do not let any of them pass you by without savoring its beauty. I have often wondered if it is better to be wild, where anything can happen, or enclosed, where you are relatively safe. If you ask the zoo animals, it depends on their life experience, the same as in humans. It will vary from person to person, but for the most part, anyone who has lived under natural law wishes to return to it. Raw spirituality is a term that describes authentic soul expressions, and is much like Stevie Ray Vaughan playing the guitar, soulful, gritty, and honest. This purity of soul activates chakras that most do not realize exist. Living and acting with authenticity brings a specific upgrade to the crown chakra, which integrates with the universe's cosmic mind and manifests creativity. Galactic, angelic, and legion news. Most people believe that weaponry is the most potent form of force. It is most certainly not the case, and our legions are proving this every day. It's one thing to bring a building down, it's another to collapse someone's reality and reclaim their soul. The parade of starships took a grand turn in front of the sun, causing a beautiful show. This dramatic show of presence performs without any way to misconstrue the gesture as aggressive. Our legions have an open door of diplomacy that is rock solid to all parties, and thus we have entertained all sides in regards to the macro 3D Earth conflict. After hearing all sides directly, it seems as there is a tremendous amount of deception going on. All sides of this conflict are much closer to agreement than you would believe. The only issue is that no one has opened the door for safe communications yet, and that is where we step in. We will not allow any prayers to go unheard, and we are the answer to their prayers. The numbness is starting to wear off, and we can feel again. Every time I went into a life-death walk, there was a period of not feeling anything, and when I returned to feeling, I had an upgraded self. The numbness I experienced is an acute version of what we are experiencing today. Large chunks of dense light and dark fragments have exited this timeline. You will feel much lighter, as will our reality. If this statement confuses you, think of the evolution of all conscious life. Photon light is sent to us by the Syrians, who are engineering a full-spectrum overhaul. We have jokingly called them tech support, and everyone seems to enjoy the inside joke. Pleiadian orbs will be making personal visits to each of us. Think of these as letters of encouragement from the future. There is a significant shift in position as new legion groups have refreshed our legions. Archangel Metatron can only wield Archangel Metatron's double broadswords. This announcement is observant of the law of disclosure and will end the mystery of what blades are patrolling the night skies. The tools for today's assignments are in a link in the description below. The assignments for today are: we need to create exit portals that connect directly to the giant black hole described earlier. Libya, Somalia, Antarctica, Cape Town, Denver, Portland, Rio, Angkor, NYC, LA, Rome, Sydney, Berlin, Belize, and Toronto are ideal locations. You are free to place these portals in other places as well, as they are going to follow the path to the massive black hole regardless of its location. Structures built on Venus are elementary to assemble and very receptive to positive intentions. Considering the direct parallels between Earth and Venus, we will be making the following structures for both planets' betterment. Circular towers of light attract positive energy and beings to your point of implementation. Based on the Venetian geographic location that you place the building in, it will do different things. Once you erect the tower, it will turn color. Based upon the color, you can decide to move the structure or not. The color codes are the same for both planets, meaning green is healing, violet transmutation, etc. Once you have achieved the appropriate color, find its twin on Earth and erect the same temple in that exact location. There is no way to predict what color it will turn, and it is merely trial and error. Healing zones and download zones are implemented the same way as the circular towers, except you choose the color. Take your light of choice and form a concentrated orb on Venus. Then superposition the sphere to its counterpart on Earth. The structure will look vastly different on Earth, but allow it to be what it wishes and thrive. A grid overlay is a veneer-style overlay that hijacks all other grid points. We will be making a rainbow grid overlay on Venus and superimposing the said grid on top of Earth-based grid systems. We have officially been invited to squash the illness scam, send an orange flame and an emerald green flame for 3 rounds of 72. Send heart-based electrical shock waves from your heart chakra to the ends of the galaxy. This electrical charge will eradicate any parasitic energy left behind. 7I77 is the entrance portal code of the day if you know what to do with it. A friendly reminder that the agreement that we will not interfere with the weather has expired with the season of Jophiel. The dark tsunami is coming, but this is no problem. The light filibuster we are using will handle it. Send the most potent concrete rainbow plasma wall to the center of the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the Indian Ocean, Gibraltar's Strait, and all continents' coastlines. Implementing a solidification of positive things, we will send the galaxy silver platinum flame for a 72 count. Implementing a permanent solution for peace, we will engulf the Earth with pink plasma for a 72 count. Implementing order will engulf Earth as a bright blue flame for 72 seconds. Implementing healing, we will engulf the Earth with an emerald green flame for a count of 72 seconds. And evoking divinity, we will engulf the Earth in rainbow light for 72 seconds. This is from the archangelicalendar.com. Today from the Zolkin Times, Kin 160, Yellow Self-Existing Sun. Self-existing is the name for the number 4, and its keywords are define, measure, and form. Taking stock and looking at the finer details is what Day 4 of a wave spell is all about. Consider more carefully your plans, and if you are asked to sign something, be totally aware of what exactly it all entails. Today is Yellow Sun, which represents enlightenment, universal fire, and life. This shall turn out to be quite an educational day, measuring enlightenment or defining life. Expect eureka moments today as the sun illuminates the way. Find out things that you've been itching to know, and perhaps, since it is a self-existing day, you may get more information than you were expecting. Also, taking measure will of course bring enlightenment. Find out precisely where you stand today. Today from Divine Sister of the Light, Christina Papagiorgio. Yellow Self-Existing Sun, Kin 160, 5 September 2020. Defining Synchronicity and Sovereignty. 5/9/2020 equal 5/9/22 equal 5/9/4 equal 5/13 equal 5/4 equal 9. 5 Freedom, Liberation, Change, Transformation. 9 Destiny, Service, Humanity, Grace, Compassion, Endings. 4 Form, Structure, Foundation, Earth, Angelic. Kin 160 equals 7 Mystic, Magic, Spiritual, Solitude. A magical manifestation day for claiming freedom and sovereignty. Day 4 in the Red Earth wave spell of evolution, through navigating our way through the signs, synchronicity, and earth magic, flowing and aligning with the rhythms and cycles of Nova Gaia. Today we define synchronicity, synchronic time, with our intelligent, questioning minds, uncovering harmonic systems of living in our full power as sovereign galactic beings. It's a big one, folks. Tone of creation, self-existing, tone 4 in the mental realm. Action measures, power defines, essence form. Today we delve into the mental realm and use our minds to align with our highest evolutionary path and define what is to be enlightened. Self-existing number 4 takes form, and we have ourselves a square shape, self-existing, measuring, and defining. Very intelligent, fascinated by self. We now have built a sturdy platform upon which further growth takes place. Dispense with the rest and build your new solid foundations on the basis of your new sovereign, ascended status. The new world must be formed on the principle that every soul is a fully independent, sovereign being. We must not allow the clock and the calendar to blind us to the fact that each moment of life is a miracle and a mystery. H.G. Wells, White Solar, World Bridger, Kin 126. Consciously choosing to fearlessly create the most enlightened culture that we can imagine. That is our collective mission, and no thing can get in our way of realizing the divine plan. The fearless rainbow warrior questions everything: governments, judiciary, corporations, law, medical industry, finances, welfare, all constructs of this false matrix that has kept us small and kept us imprisoned by surrendering our power to those that rule over us. No more. People power is igniting all over the globe, and the tyranny is being called out in order to desist and be replaced with justice, equality, fairness, and unity, all 5D principles necessary to build a new world that we are defining. In perfect divine synchronicity, today, the 5th of December 2020, has been declared Freedom Day here in Australia and globally, as peaceful mass protests were planned to occur, but these protests have been cancelled here in Victoria due to the tyrannical suppression of the right to demonstrate or freedom of speech. How apt that on 5/9 liberation and ending codes we are bringing global attention to the need to end tyranny and promote freedom and liberation for all Earth citizens. It is very timely that 9 months ago on Kin 160, this theme of liberation and sovereignty was very topical again here in Australia, and very significant that the Red Earth wave spell is highlighting these repeating patterns within our evolutionary cycles. We will correct this glitch in the old matrix this time around, resetting it to a new higher calibration. Let us all pray and hold the vision that all nations are freed and transform with new, more enlightened and visionary leaders to make our planet great again. And so it is, ×3. Today's question is, how can I redefine my existence and navigate to a new, more harmonic system of sovereignty? Divine blessings for the speedy transformation of our global leaders and governments. In Lakek Alakin, Christina White, Magnetic World Bridger, Kin 66. Kin 160, Yellow, Self-Existing Sun. The mantra, the code for today is, I define in order to enlighten. Measuring life, I seal the matrix of universal fire with the self-existing tone of form. I am guided by the power of intelligence. And with this powerful day of galactic activations and synchronicities, let us know, beloved beings of light, in the comments below what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, what you're seeing, your visions, your dreams, and your synchronicities. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and click the subscribe button below and the little bell to get notifications on future uploads. And welcome to all new subscribers. As always, we have a link in the description below this video on the transcriptions of today's transmissions. We archive these on our website, primedisclosure.com. I'd like to take a moment and thank everyone for their support on Patreon. I'd like to thank beloved being of light, Geir, for your pledge. Hope I'm pronouncing that right, Geir. And I'd like to thank Divine Sister of the Light, Lou, for raising your pledge to the Sacred Portal. If you'd like to support my mission and work with Prime Disclosure, you can do so at patreon.com/Prime Disclosure. We have that link also in the description below. And now for a couple stories before I bid you all adieu. I'm going to try to explain to the best of my ability an activation I received in the middle of dream time last night, which was actually this morning, or yesterday morning now. As I was receiving some activations after communicating with the Queen, the Condor, as I drifted into non-physical sleep, there was a point before sleeping I had sacred stones on my chakras and moldavite on my third, I call sky eye, in the middle of the forehead, receiving connections to the Council of 8. And I was seeing the 8 caves, the 8 portals around the central portal of the brain. This is a Taoist concept we call the Crystal Palace, the center of the brain. There's 8 holes that surround it. I was seeing those Council of 8 light up each one of those portals, gateways, to merge with the center, Then I had a double dorje over my crown while I slept, which was transmitting powerful energy. The higher dimensionals can work through these sacred symbols and tools. So as I was receiving these in dream time, I woke several times, taking on the energy and the embodiment of the white gold eagle, and it felt like my body was being incinerated, like it was totally on fire, and I couldn't see. There were a couple times I couldn't breathe, but knowing that this is all part of our ascension transformation, we try to stay centered and grounded and anchored in. We do our best, but with these intense waves coming in, it's very unpredictable, unprecedented, unknown. So we just navigate through these intense waves, these intense energies. So many people are seeing with these downloads and activations, not being able to breathe or even swallow it sometimes. That's natural. Try to not to go into fear. Sometimes we just have to spit it out into the garbage. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Because when these activations, especially with the throat, you might get saliva stuck in the esophagus, that we just have to hack it out. That's a release. Just like, coughing, sneezing, belching, all these things. We call them release in Taoist, the Taoist arts. And it's all part of this purging, this processing. Many people for the last several days and today are going through physical purging, releasing, especially through the stomach, the intestines, through the lungs for many people. The lungs can hold deep sorrow. And the kidneys, also kidney bladder, which is water in Chinese medicine. These have to do with sadness. Also, kidneys can hold the best I can come up with is discordant or out of balance energy, or the traumas of humiliation. So this is coming up for a lot of people, times of being humiliated in life, where we took it upon ourselves and our inner child. Many of us, it was when we were children, that we held on to these traumas through certain portals in our body, and especially kidney bladder. So we're releasing these things. Sometimes the kidneys might feel like they're on fire. So the teas help with this, especially the pu'er teas and the oolong, the green teas. The pu'er is a black tea, so the black and the blue. Sometimes we would use blue lotus. You can get blue lotus online. Just do a search on. You can even get it on eBay. Which comes, a lot of it comes from Egypt. It's a sacred flower of the ancient Egyptians. So the Egyptian clans are Egyptian tribes. It's a medicine, which that can help release, anchor, ground some of these traumatic feelings, experiences. And we also use the Sedona method. You could look that up. I have a video I shot of that many years ago. Sedona method to help release any negative emotions that are held within the physical vessel. And we feel these in many different ways. So today, after the intense night of many activations and downloads as I was out in nature, or on my journeys today, Gaia brought many of the Wing Nation and multiple in pairs, first starting with 2 crows and a sacred tree of a friend of mine, that she was showing me this face in the tree. It's a totally dead tree that they leave, but it's very unique. And as soon as we walked up to the tree, one of the crows flew to the north and the other crow stayed in the tree. And there's a face in the tree, and she said when she took a picture of it, the face, this ivy grew up over it to kind of like hide it. It was very interesting. And then as I was at a sacred portal today along the river, Gaia brought me in pairs again 2 swallows, 2 great blue herons, and then 2 kingfishers were chasing each other around. Most of the time I was sitting, meditating in this portal. And then as I was connecting with the Council of 8, all of a sudden this loud honking, like trumpet sound, coming from downriver towards me. And as I look up, here come 8 geese, Canada geese, with their loud call. And one other thing I forgot to mention, after I was feeling like totally on fire as I was transforming into this white gold eagle, taking on the form of the 5D eagle, embodying the highest Shiva codes and energies of the divine masculine, I felt as if at one point I was inside a chrysalis, like a cocoon, and every aspect of me vanished or disappeared or dissolved, and what was left was the two cells in the middle, just like when the caterpillar metamorphosizes into the butterfly. Most of its cells are broken down into what we call imaginal cells, but not all the tissue is destroyed. And one imaginal disc will become a wing, and there are imaginal discs that form the legs, antennae, and other organs of the butterfly. And these become the new form of the butterfly. This is kind of what I felt like, but I felt as if nothing existed but two cells or two atoms, the yin and the yang. And then throughout the day to day, I felt this emptiness, this stillness, and as if I was walking in a dream. And at times it became very evident with peculiar shapes and forms. And it truly felt at different points in time today like being in Wonderland or some kind of dreamscape, which in essence, in theory, this is but a dream. You know, we say Brahma falls asleep into a dream, all for the joy of waking up. So part of this ascension process is the realization that we are in a dream within a dream, but not that it's a bad thing, because once we become lucid and aware of our divinity, we can change the dream. We could change the manifestation, and that's the power of tapping into our infinite creator source energy, our genius within, and activate our highest codes, our highest light, our highest potentials encoded within our original blueprint of our DNA. And at this point, throughout time, all the masters, when they realized their true nature, which is one with source, no matter what name they gave to it, Buddha, God, the Tao, that the truth is beyond words, that our true self is beyond all concepts. But the mind of man, the mind of the human, needs words and concepts to come to some kind of realization. So instead of sitting in total silence, the masters, the teachers, the guides, the gurus came up with words and concepts to point to the truth. And when we listen to these words, such as I am the way, I am the truth, I am the light, we become aware of the I am presence that's within us. And when we realize that we can never separate from source, that we're always one with Creator, and part of this process is activating the faith within, the faith in the universe, the faith in Creator, faith in ourself, we come to the realization that there is nothing to attain, nothing to strive for. And in that power of not a thing, or in the power of the stillness, the power of silence, we are empowered to transmit, manifest, project our true heart's desire, our true heart's delight. I ask you, as I ask everyone, what are you passionate about? Find that passion. That passion will ignite the fire within. The shamans will say, total awareness is the fire burning from within. The fire in your heart, the fire in your soul, the fire in your spirit, to rise up in the glory of your bright virtue, in the glory of your divinity and your realization of your divine nature, your divine self, which is the eternal light, the eternal life of the one true Creator. And through this realization, know that you are perfect exactly as you are, and that your pure awareness that's listening to these words now are the same as everyone's pure awareness. And that pure awareness takes on different forms and shapes and names and stories, but it is the same blueprint, or we say true nature, of the unborn mind of Buddha. And within that unborn mind, we say the unknowable mind, all things are perfectly resolved. And we can all experience that by returning to the kingdom of heaven within. We call that 0 point. 0 point is the doorway, the gateway that's still centered to the unknowable mind through cosmic consciousness. And we activate this through Christ consciousness or Buddha consciousness, which is really another name for love. And with that, I love you all. Namaste.